It has been brought to our attention that depending on the platform that you listen to, you can no longer hear some of our previous episodes.
Some of our favorite episodes.
Some of the ones where people would reach out and say, hey, listen, I can't believe that you talked to insert whatever name here.
And honestly, it makes us a little sad that you can't go back in time and have a listen because the stories were really incredible.
We reference a lot of times, we had a chance to talk with so-and-so in the past. And if you can't go back, then it's kind of just, So we wanted to bring some of those guests, some of those former guests back into the spotlight.
We're going to call it like a rerun, I think.
A Why Me Project rerun.
Do you remember those?
I do. Back in the day, or you used to throw the tape into the VCR and, we're dating ourselves.
We are, but a rerun was the opportunity to rewatch one of your favorite episodes. Now everything's so accessible. Well, we thought it was.
Yeah, exactly. So without further ado,
here's your Why Me Project rerun.
One of the requests that we had is for our guest who we have this week, and Mr. Chris Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do only have a few minutes with him, but I figured that before we get to it, I could then ask you trivia about Mr. Tomlin, and we can call it Tomlin Trivia.
Oh, goodness, I'm not good at trivia, but yes, let's do it.
One of my favorite things to do is to ask you trivia questions, which, by the way, you can play along at home, and it's always good to see because Holly usually gets one-ish right.
That's about accurate.
But we will see when it comes to Tomlin Trivia and where you are.
All right. And if you are playing along, please let me know how well you do.
You can always email us. It is whymeproject@outlook.com or jump on Twitter. It is @whymeproject.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 1. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Number 1. Bloop, 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 bloop. We didn't pay a lot for the sound effects. Chris Tomlin was born where? Do you want multiple guess?
Yeah, actually.
Unless you know.
I was going to say Texas.
Okay. Yeah. Multiple guess.
Okay.
Grand Saline, Texas. Amarillo, Texas. Or Fredericksburg, Texas.
Oh, no. The second one?
Amarillo?
Yeah.
You are incorrect.
No! First one.
I'm sorry.
You are correct.
Yes.
Grand Saline, Texas.
So I got one wrong.
Question number 2. Speaking of Grand Saline, Texas, what is the population of Grand Saline, Texas?
Okay. What are my guesses?
And I believe his mom still lives there.
Okay.
Is it A, 3,100, B, 5,000, C, 10,000, or D, 11,338?
I'm going with the last one because it was so specific.
Not right.
Oh, man. The first one?
You are correct.
Wait.
0 for 2.
All right, question number 3. Tomlin Trivia. Hopefully you're doing better at home than Holly is right now. How many GMA Dove Awards has he won? Want multiple guess?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to Google this.
No, don't. You can't.
Okay.
Don't Google. No,
I
don't. Get off your computer. You are not allowed.
Won't Google it.
Is it A, 10, B, 15, C, 20, or D, 23?
Wow.
Don't Google.
I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like I should know his accolades.
But think about this, though. He's been up for nominations a lot, hasn't necessarily won a lot, like all of them. Mm-hmm. He has won quite a bit, though.
Okay. Can you give them to me again?
A10, B15, C20, or D23?
Let's go with 23.
You are correct.
Really?
You are right.
Yes.
Question number 4. How many albums does Chris Tomlin have?
Oh. Okay, give me some hints. I think it's like around 6 or 7, but
Is it A10?
oh shoot, I'm way off.
B12. Which, by the way, you could utilize as a vitamin. C14 or D16? Don't Google.
The last one?
You're going to go 16?
I think, well, between like ones that he's been collaborating
No,
on.
this is just his album.
Just his albums.
Correct.
Yeah?
Okay.
16?
You are not right.
No.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Second guess or just... I mean, 1 for 4 is not bad.
I guess.
It was 14.
Okay.
Okay, last one for you. What did Chris go to college to study? A, nursing, B, music, C, teacher, or D, physical therapy?
I want to go with teacher therapy music.
Ooh, you're close. Which one?
I don't know. I feel like I should know.
I don't think in the times that we spoke with him, we've never brought this up. I mean, maybe it's something that we do bring up.
All I can think of is David Dunn engineering.
Right. Okay, but that was not one of the questions.
No, okay.
So David, yes, you are correct for David Dunn.
Chris Tomlin
Yes.
went to school
Correct.
originally to become teacher.
You're going to go with teacher.
Can you give me some
Final answer.
clues?
Teacher, you like teacher?
What was the first one again?
It was nursing.
No, it wasn't nursing.
No, it wasn't nursing.
It wasn't music.
It was not music.
It was either teaching or physical therapy.
Okay, yes, we 50-50'd on this. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So
Can I call a friend?
No, there's no one available for you to call at this moment. Call in right now if you do know, though.
Okay, teacher.
You are incorrect.
It was physical
You had a
therapy.
50-50 chance, and you
I still didn't get it.
you still did not get it.
Worst ever.
Nah, you're fine. So I mean, one for 5 is not terrible. I mean, you got one right. Think of all the people who maybe would have gotten them all wrong, right? If you got more than one right, maybe we'll give you a prize. Again, you can email whymeproject@outlook.com, or you can always tweet us. It is at whymeproject.
Guess what just popped up?
What's that?
Chris Tomlin discography.
Oh, well, there you are.
Took
See?
forever. You included compilations. You said you weren't going to.
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
I think you did.
I don't remember it anymore.
I feel lied to.
Don't feel lied to. Let's just get to our guest for this week, shall we?
Okay, let's do
All
it.
right. No time like the present to talk to this man. He is incredible. He is Chris Tomlin, my friend. Who are you and where did you come from?
Oh my gosh! Well, who am I? That's a great question. I don't know, but I do come from Texas, great state of Texas. Who am I? That is.
It's loaded.
That is loaded, man. It's deep.
It could go anywhere, really.
Right. I'm a small town kid. I can tell you that. Small town kid, come from a country town, little bitty town that's probably smaller than your radio station, and it is. And cannot believe, and someone who cannot believe that I have been touring all these many years playing music, but really grateful for it.
How is it that you're able to stay so humble?
Oh my goodness! I think it's about knowing a lot of where you come from, and like a lot of what God has done in your life, and keeping your eyes on God. Really, it sounds cliche, but I think when you keep your focus and heart and eyes on God and on the Lord and what He has done in your life, it's hard to really think a lot about yourself. When your eyes are on yourself is when you start kind of getting puffed up and prideful. When you see Him for who He is and get a glimpse of how amazing what God has done in your life, then you can't help but just get on your knees and say, God, how that you would use someone like me. And because we all feel like that. We all feel like, wow, I really don't deserve to be used like God is using me, but that He does. His grace, getting a picture of His grace, just keeps you keeps you in the right place.
Do you ever have moments, knowing that you came from a small town, that you're just like, wow, why me, God? Why did you allow me to have this opportunity?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, I had Netflix at my house last week talking about want to do a documentary on me and my music because how far stretching it is around the world, and yet no one really knows who you are. And I'm like, yeah, I feel exactly the same, and I feel it every day, and feel so blown away by all of this. And yeah, I always think about how did this happen? But for me, it was always from a young kid wanting to just having this heart and then realizing a gift to write songs that would people could sing. I always loved music, and I've never considered myself a great musician in any way, but I felt like I had a way of writing songs that were simple, people could God, and so they just started finding their way in the church. It was really grassroots. There was no labels, there was no CDs, there was no websites, there was none of that. In the start, and it was me in a Toyota 4Runner cruising around with my guitar from church to church playing these songs. And that it would turn into this is pretty crazy to me.
If you grew up in the country, why didn't you focus on, say, country music? Why did you move towards the praise and worship?
Well, that's why I grew up. That's what my dad taught me to play. It was country music. My dad taught me to play guitar, and it was Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and all the Outlaws and all the people he loved. And that was what he loved, the music he loved. And that was pretty much all the music I heard. But, I grew up in the church as well. Thankfully, my parents had me in church since I was a little kid and the relationship with the Lord early on, and had this real sensitive heart to God. I don't know why, but it just felt like maybe looking back, God had a plan and was, choosing, had for a reason, had given me, put this guitar in my hand for a reason. And I loved playing at church. And I loved when people would sing. And from early on, I felt a real calling from God that to do something for His kingdom, for His work. Even at 13, 14 years old, I felt that and started on that journey. I didn't know it'd be music, but putting those two together became something that happened. And there's nothing else I'd want to do, honestly, than this. There's no other kind of music I'd want to do it. I'd want to do. I say in my concerts, and it's true. These nights of music should be and are different than any other night of music you'll ever go to, because not that they're any better or anything like that. It's just different. This is different than singing country music. This is different than hip hop. It's different than pop. There's something different when your soul sings, and this is music that is eternal. That is what we're doing. Not maybe the songs are eternal, but what we're doing is eternal. We're worshiping God, and there's something that goes on that's really different in people's hearts and in these nights of music, and I love being a part of that.
The biggest song that you were ever a part of. Some may say, it's the worship song. Maybe it's Sing, Sing, Sing. Holly and I actually believe the best and biggest song that you were ever a part of was a song called Bowlin'.
Oh my goodness! I'm not sure Bowlin's going to eclipse How Great Is Our God. But,
really? I don't know.
Maybe for different reasons.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry that you guys have seen that.
No, that is fantastic. I'm not even going to lie.
We saw it. I was having a bad day, and I just said, you know what? That A made my day, and B, I love that you could just have fun with it. I'm so used to hearing you sing praise and worship. Here you were just having fun, and
yeah.
All for the glory of hair.
It was refreshing. Yeah. It was fun.
Isn't that hilarious? I mean, that song is so funny, and it was so fun to do. I thought my haircut looked pretty awesome in the video. Was
that your real hair, or was that a wig?
That was a wig, definitely a wig. That was awesome. We were having so much fun. I mean, we laughed all day. And I mean, there's so many. It took so long to make that video because I couldn't keep it. I had such a hard time keeping a straight face.
We ask people, and we would say, or, we get requests all the time. Oh, I want to hear Good Father. I want to hear How Great Is Our God. Yeah. What is Chris Tomlin's favorite Chris Tomlin song?
That's like saying, which child do you like more?
Yeah, exactly. I would probably my favorite song to play in the night, Good Father. It has just been so special. That song is so special. But it's funny, the two you mentioned, when I say my favorite song I've probably written is probably How Great Is Our God, just because of how it has gone across. It is just, if there's ever a song that has gone past me as an artist and is not attached to me anymore, but just a song that people sing. And what I mean by that is people in Africa singing this song right in their languages, or in Brazil or wherever, and they're not thinking this is a Chris Tomlin song. It's just a song they sing in church, and that is special when it crosses generations like that. It crosses cultures. And it becomes just in the fabric of the church. And never would I dream that little song would have done that, but I don't think it's one of the best written songs ever. It just has a touch on it that has meant something to people. So I'm probably most grateful for that song.
What do you think it is about you and your music that does transcend language and borders and really reaches people where they're at?
I think it's the universal song of worship, and that all the church is. I think it speaks to the testament and the power and the magnitude of the church. No one ever really talks about this. You never hear this in the news, right? You don't hear this in the news that the largest, the greatest organization in all the world is the church. That people would probably think it's Apple or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Target. It's nothing close to the power and the magnitude of the church. And I think that's why in this music, it just finds its way there. And no marketing plan can do that. I'll say that to young songwriters. If you're looking for the marketing angle or what is that, there's not a marketing team in the world that can put a song, in Indonesia and in Texas, and it all in the same. You're singing the same song. That really is God's Spirit in touching a song and how that happens. And I've just tried to be as faithful as I can to, pray for songs like that. Pray that God touches songs. And I've written. There's only a few of my songs that do that. That I've written hundreds of songs, so it's not like all the songs. It just works that way. Most of the songs, will not travel around the world, but every once in a while, some of them do. And to me, it just speaks to the magnitude and power of God's church.
This one might be a weird one, but how do you stay grounded? And by that I mean, do you ever look at your accomplishments and do you ever think, wow, God has really just used Chris Tomlin?
This sounds weird, but no, I don't ever think of myself as in third person as Chris Tomlin. So it's just me. It's just me, and I haven't. I feel very grounded with my family. I have 2 little girls and wife. That is what keeps your feet on the ground. What real life is about. And I don't ever really consider that much, about the reach of the music and as far as like, wow, check me out or look at that. It doesn't really. I think it's probably coming from. I come from very humble beginnings and some really small places, and so I think it's been really small steps along the way. If that makes sense, it's never been overnight. Like I can't imagine if you were a pop star at 17, 18, 19 years old, what that would do to your head. But for me, it's been many, many years of touring and playing music, and just grateful. Honestly, just grateful that I can still do it, and people are still interested. And I'm always thankful for that.
I must say, there's nothing more humbling than having kids. They put you right in your place, don't they?
Yeah, I was trying to say that in a really nice way. There's nothing like that'll keep you in the right spot.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. I've got 2 little girls as well. We get it.
Yeah.
How old are your girls now?
6 and 3.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
We'll pray for you. Lord
Yeah.
knows that you need it.
Oh my gosh, it's like the best season and in the full on intense season. That time.
Do you have that struggle though of leaving the family behind to go on tour and go on the road?
Oh yeah, it's always a balance for me. It's figuring out, especially in the last 6 or 7 years of having kids, it's that finding that balance of what's too much or what's, obviously this is what I do for my livelihood and it's important and you have to be on the road. Hopefully you're on the road if you're a musician. If you're sitting at home, then that means no one likes your music and it's over. So you got to be on the road doing it. But finding that balance and the right balance of like saying no to incredible opportunities, that's the hardest thing. It's to amazing opportunities and saying, no, I just can't do it, and passing up things that 10 years ago you'd have been just dying to do. And that's really hard, but you're making sacrifices. It's a give and take, and you win. I feel like you win if it's about, if your decisions are about family, you're always going to win, I think.
When you go on stage, when you're ready to play in front of whether it's hundreds or thousands of people, what is your goal? What are you wanting people to take away from it?
Man, thank you for that question. The night is about people coming together and worshiping God. That's the goal for me. I hope people laugh. I hope they have the best time. I hope their spirits are lifted up. I hope that their hearts are filled up. But I hope that at some point you feel that connection of people singing together and worshiping God together. That's what it's always been about for my music. I'm privileged, Most people maybe get to play one time on tour through Canada, and this is 3 or 4 for me. So I'm grateful for that, and I love my heart is when I love when people are like, do you get tired of playing your songs? You play them every night. I'm like, I don't, because I love how to see people respond and to worship God, and it's not about me. And that's the beautiful thing is when you're a performer, it's about you and people responding to you. But when you're trying to let people lead worship, you're just helping them respond to God and His goodness and His greatness and His grace, right? And that's the goal.
You being a worship leader, you being an artist, how can we pray for you?
I appreciate that. And being a great husband and a great dad, and I'm really learning, and I'm wanting to learn that. I'd ask for prayer every day. That if they think of me and my music, and it's meant something to them, and they pray, and just pray that for my family, and just that I would be a great leader, and just for them in their lives. I would love that, appreciate that.
You can follow that man, Chris Tomlin, on Twitter and Instagram, my friend. We appreciate you taking a minute, and we can't wait to see you in a few months from now.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thank you so much, and we'll be seeing you soon.
I do appreciate the fact, though, that we've had the opportunity in the past to talk with Chris or Mr. Tom, I don't know, what do you call the guy? But just that we were able to, yes, have some fun, but we're also able to ask those serious questions. And there are some specific things sometimes that he's going through or other people are going through that we can get those answers for.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's nice just to talk to down-to-earth people who aren't afraid to laugh at themselves or, at us, essentially.
Well, and the other thing that I do appreciate, too, is that, we talk about bowling, which is, one of those funny things.
Yeah.
If you listen back to episode 46, when we talked with Trip Crosby, with Trip and Tyler, we talk about not only the song Bowlin', but also the success of that, and then how would he want to do it in the future with, say, a Michael W. Smith, the Stephen Curtis Chapman, or an Amy Grant?
We haven't. I've never considered it. We should. I don't know what it would be. We really brought Chris in. Why did we bring Chris in? I was really good friends with the girl that he's not married to. So I think we were all at the dinner one night, and we just expressed wanting to work together in some way. And at the time, Tyler and I were hosting this big conference called Catalyst, and they commissioned us to make the funny music video, and I think he was probably performing or something, and all the pieces just went together, and we did it. There was never really an intention to make a Chris Tomlin video, or even, there's really never an intention behind much of what we do. It's just the circumstances kind of bring together an idea in some weird way. There's always a different story, I guess, behind each video.
And there's always a different story behind each podcast. And now Trip and Tyler kind of for the comical side of what they do. But Trip has a really great story. So, again, you can check out his episode to hear more about his journey and his YME moments.
Yeah, we encourage you to go back and listen to all of them and then tell friends about them as well. Because by doing that, it continues to build the momentum of the YME project.
Exactly. And then also gives us more ideas as to who else we could be speaking to about their YME moments for the podcast.
One of the things that we love to do is, if you put in a request for somebody that we should interview, we try as hard as we can to get those individuals. And a lot of the people that we've talked to so far are because of your requests.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we love is reading some of the messages that you leave us. And you could do so, ymeproject@outlook.com, or you could jump on Twitter. It is @ymeproject. I have 2 letters here for you. They're quick little messages, Holly, from maybe 2 of the farthest locations that we have received messages from.
Okay, where are they from and who are they?
First one is Linda F. from Florida.
Florida.
A friend of mine told me about this. She said, quote unquote, "You have to listen. They are great." So I did. And you are. Keep up the good work.
Aw, thank you so much, Linda.
So Florida, that is a distance.
That is.
I got one even further.
Okay.
Down under.
Australia.
New Zealand.
Okay, New Zealand.
I Googled, though, because I wanted to make sure that I could say down under, and down under refers to Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
It's like if you're to say we're going to go out west, which refers to Canada and or the U.S.
Okay, so New Zealand.
Yes, down under. I want to do this in an accent, but it's...
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Anime from New Zealand. Heard the show when I was visiting Canada. Now I download and I listen every week. Try to get someone from my area. That would be cool. Anime. Cool, by the way, spelled Kewl.
Nice.
So it's cool. Yes? No?
Sure. And actually, we will possibly have somebody from Down Under.
Oh, you're going to spoil.
I'm not going to say anything other than that, but it's coming up this fall.
Yes, their new album apparently comes out October the 5th. And
I think you're giving away more.
Am I?
Yes.
The brothers, never mind. I said too much.
Yes, you did.
Thank you for tuning in to an old episode, a past guest of our Why Me Project rerun.
Something that we're starting now because there were so many episodes that we really did love, and they've kind of disappeared from the digital world.
And speaking of digital world, I did a little recon. There are at least 9 different platforms in which you can listen to the Why Me Project podcast.
Okay.
So there's no excuses, but some of the main ones like Apple Podcast and or Spotify.
And you could always head to our social media accounts to stay up to date, as each and every Wednesday we have a brand new episode for Why Me Project. And you can also let us know if there's someone that you would like to hear on a future episode.
At Why Me Project on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Why Me Project at Outlook.com.